Hi guys, it's ASBYT, and a few days ago I was invited by Samsung down to a secret pre-launch early hands-on event in London for the brand new Samsung Galaxy S20 range. And yes, you heard correctly, as leaked, it's going to be the S20 range this year, not the S11. And in the range we have the S20, the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra. And boy, are they pretty special. I will be doing individual full reviews on all of these after I've used them for a period of time, so subscribe for those. But in this video, I'm going to be focusing on 15 things you probably didn't know, but really should know about the S20 range if you are indeed looking to possibly pick one of these puppies up. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. First of all, if you are a fan of Samsung, it would be rude not to drop a like on the video really, wouldn't it? So the first thing you need to know is the range is slightly different to the previous S10 range, with the fact that we had a budget S10e option, whereas with the S20 range, there has been a slight shift. Yes, the S20 is the cheapest of the range, with the Plus coming next and the Ultra being the most expensive. Exact confirmed prices will be posted over on my Twitter and Instagram, go give them a follow for that. But the standard S20, we are told, will be more expensive than the S10e was at launch, and the S20 Ultra is crazy expensive. So the price of the range has taken a slide uphill, as I believe Samsung are looking to separate their flagship S series from the likes of their wallet-friendly mid-range A series, for example. We have 3 Quad HD Plus HDR10 Plus certified dynamic AMOLED display panels at 6.2, 6.7 and 6.9 inches, and all with a 500 plus PPI. They all have refresh rate capabilities of 120 Hz with 240 Hz touch input. And don't get it twisted, this refresh rate on this display is legit. Most people have waxed lyrical about the OnePlus 7 Pro from last year with its 90 Hz display, and this one is one step further into the realms of liquid chocolate. Now, some would say that unless you are an avid mobile gamer, for example, the refresh rate sort of trend is a little bit overhyped. But honestly, after using the 120 Hz and then going back to 60 Hz, it's tough. It's like you've tasted the forbidden fruit and everything else is just tainted now. Now, you can downscale the resolution to Full HD and the refresh rate to 60 Hz to save battery, but one thing you should know is that it seems that the 120 Hz only works in HD resolution. So if you do want to use Quad HD, it's only available with 60 Hz refresh rate. I think that's a little bit of a shame. Other companies have been able to get more than 60 Hz refresh rate and a Quad HD display. The phone does have to have some downsides though, I suppose. All have a centralized punch hole cutout housing the front camera, more on cameras later. And to be honest, I'm not convinced whether I prefer it centrally or on the top right hand side like on the S10. Comment below which you prefer. Now, if you are enjoying this video, a sub will be amazing. We're trying to reach 1 million by the end of the year. All models come with 5G capabilities, but the standard S20 is also available in 4G as well. This 5G comes courtesy of non-integrated modems of the Qualcomm Snapdragon X55 with the Snapdragon 865 variant, and the in-house Exynos 5123 modem if you have the Exynos 990 SoC. Where in the world will of course determine which one you get, and I'll try and do a comparison on both for you if you're interested. So the rest of the underhood specs are as follows. The S20 has options of 8GB and 12GB of RAM, the Plus model is just 12GB, and the Ultra comes with either 12GB or 16GB of RAM. Overkill? Possibly? Certainly the average consumer wouldn't get anywhere near using the full 16GB of RAM, but then I suppose the Ultra isn't really for the average consumer. 128GB of storage on the S20 and either 128 or 512 on the S20 Plus and Ultra. And all are expandable with up to 1TB via their micro SD card slots. The battery cell capacities of 4000, 4500 and 5000 are pretty hefty, but remember, we've got the 120 Hz refresh rate and some pretty large displays, especially the Plus and Ultra models to contend with, so I will do some battery drain tests to see how they compare with other top phones currently on the market. I'll also test the cable charging speeds as well as the new fast wireless charging 2.0 technology. Wireless power share is again available in the range, as is its IP68 rating, and stereo speakers tuned by AKG. So far you'd be forgiven in thinking, well, the Ultra is just a larger version of the other two. But camera is a big area where this difference really begins to show. Because the standard S20 and the S20 Plus are very, very similar. They both have a wide-angle 12 megapixel primary sensor with OIS and f1.8 aperture, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with f2.2 aperture, and a 64 megapixel telephoto lens with f2.0 aperture and OIS. Both with 3 times hybrid optical zoom and 30 times super resolution zoom. So the only real difference on the Plus model is that you get depth vision or depth sensing as well. Both also have a 10 megapixel front facing camera with f2.2 aperture, whereas if we flip to the Ultra, specs galore. We've got a 108 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture, a 48 megapixel telephoto lens with f3.5 aperture, and the same 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. So yes, you heard it right. The megapixels on the telephoto lens on the Ultra is actually smaller than on the Standard and the Plus model, but size doesn't always mean everything. And what you can do with the Ultra is 10 times hybrid zoom and up to 100 times super resolution zoom. Now, testing it in the space we were in was very, very difficult because everything was already pretty close to you. What I do want to test in my camera comparison is buildings and things like boats and airplanes and cars and stuff like that, long distances away, to see how much quality comes through and see whether indeed using 100 times zoom is even really worth it. I'm excited, but skeptical. So with all those numbers like 108 megapixels, what does that actually mean? Well, for starters, the primary 108 megapixel lens will be able to take photos with far greater detail than the Standard and the Plus models. I recently reviewed the Xiaomi Mi Note 10, also with a Samsung 108 megapixel sensor, although I do believe it's slightly different. And on the whole, I love the possibilities the large sensor provides. Although on the Mi Note 10, the detail in the pictures is far greater in the middle of the photo than it is on the edges, where it is noticeably softer, and the processing speeds on that phone are really pretty slow. Hopefully all of this will be better on the S20 Ultra, and in my full camera comparison video with the likes of the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pixel 4, for example, we'll test that. Now, video is another big upgrade for Samsung this year. We now not only have 4K 60 frames a second on the front camera, but 8K at 30 frames a second on the rear. Samsung also claim improved camera features, the likes of super steady and night hyperlapse, due to that larger image sensor. And there's also a very interesting mode called single take. It lets users capture a scene in a series of photos and videos for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then it processes all of them and picks out the best of those and shows you in an end collection. This is a great idea for sharing travel trips and exciting experiences with friends and family. And along those lines of communication, Samsung with the S20 range have integrated Google Duo into the contacts area, so you don't have to switch between apps now. Samsung are also very excited about their new feature, Quick Share, which, clues in the title, it's sharing files quickly. It basically enables you to share files quickly to other compatible Samsung devices like Apple's AirDrop. I'm not entirely sure this is going to work quite as well as Apple's AirDrop, but I guess time will tell on that. The S20 range will also launch alongside Samsung's latest wireless earbuds, the Galaxy Buds Plus. Available in 3 colours and with a whopping 11 hours of battery life. It might be time to drop the wired earphones, unless you're an audiophile and you'd be shouting at the screen now that I'm wrong. Now, if you do want to order one of the S20 devices, you actually get the Galaxy Buds Plus free with that. So that's a really, really nice incentive from Samsung to, tempt you to do that. And that will make the price of them far more attractive. Now, if you just can't wait to get your hands on one of these new devices and just need to know what day will it be released, I believe it's the 6th of March. Now, if you've been following on astutely, you will know that's only 14 out of the 15, and that's because I've left one spot open for you guys to add some information that I've missed, because notoriously with launches like this, there's loads of information about something that you can't quite fit into one video, and then everyone's much better educated about the new devices. That'll be my one point that I didn't know. If you did enjoy the video and found it helpful, drop a like and make sure you share it if other people in your friends and family group are interested in the new phones. If you want to see the bucket loads of S20 content that I've got coming up, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you turn on the notification bell so that when I post those videos, you are notified. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.